Aveline de Grandpré. I am an assassin, and I fight for liberation.
Hey, Leah here from CHOM's Girls on Games. We're here today with Amber Goldfarb. She plays in Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation as Aveline de Grandpré and has done a little bit more voice acting as well for video games. So we're here to talk to her today. Thank you very much for coming.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
So how'd you get into this video game voice acting thing? I know that you're from Montreal. You went through Dawson College and, film, TV, probably wanted to do that, and you ended up in video games. How did that happen?
Well, I actually auditioned for what I thought was a short film. They were casting the prequel to Assassin's Creed 2 called Lineage. I don't know if you've heard about it. It's like a series. It's like a web series and a series of short films. And so I auditioned for that, or at least I thought that's what I was auditioning for. And then I ended up getting cast as Cristina Vespucci in the video game. So I got a call like 3 months after my audition, and my agent was like, "Hey, I have a voice booking for you." And I was like, "I haven't had a voice audition in like months." And he was like, "Oh, I don't know, but just show up." And so I went, and they're like, "Yeah, you got Cristina Vespucci." And I mean, I was thrilled because she's a great character and I had so much fun with her, but it was totally unexpected.
So along with playing Cristina, you also got to play Aveline. Now, she's a half French, half African American living in New Orleans back in the day, around the same time as the Assassin's Creed 3 Connor Chronicles. So how was preparing for that kind of a role?
Well, one very important aspect of it was figuring out what an authentic accent would have been at that time. So I worked very closely with the dialect coach, Julia Lenardin. She was great, and she really helped guide me along with what they wanted. And the writers and the creative team had an idea of what they wanted, so it was finding the right balance of how strong the accent would be, how light it would be. And we found something that we were all happy with, so that was a very important thing. And then it was also researching the time period, what it was like to be a woman in that time, what it was like to be of mixed heritage in that time, what it was like to be, a nobility, what it was like to be a slave, because she has all these different persona, right? So being able to slip into each persona and bring it to life, I had to look at those different aspects. So she's a very rich role with a lot of layers, and I had a lot of fun preparing her and playing her.
Very cool. And you got to do some motion capture as well, along with voice acting?
Yeah, actually, I recorded all of her voice first, and then I spoke to the cinematics director about, where they were going to be doing the motion capture, because they were doing them separately, and they were going to be doing them at the studio in Bulgaria. And I was like, well, if there's any way you'd be willing to do some here, I would love to do the body for my voice, and I think that it will, bring up the level of the game and the level of realism just to have the same actress doing both. And they pushed for it, and I got to do her body as well, which I'm really glad, because that's it. It's so much more realistic, and all the work that I'd done to bring her alive vocally, I was able to match that with her body. So it was great.
And what else do you have going on coming up in the future?
Well, I have an episode of Murdoch Mysteries that's playing February 4th. Very funny episode. I'm looking forward to it. And I recently dabbled in producing. I produced a fan film called The Punisher No Mercy. You can check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/The Punisher No Mercy. And we're currently in post-production. We finished shooting it, and it should be coming out in the summer. So we're very excited about it.
Any other video game work?
Yes, I'm working on Watch Dogs right now, and on another game that I can't talk about.
Oh, exciting! Another game. So hopefully once that title's done and Watch Dogs is done, you'll come in and we can talk about those as well.
Absolutely. It would be my pleasure.
Thank you so much for coming in. Really appreciate it. This is Leah from CHOM's Girls on Games.
The spirit of rock. 97.7.